From our studio here at Desawe in Accra, I am Martin Asiedu Dartey.
And I am Ayisha Yakubu coming up in the bulletin this evening.
News 360 Headlines is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint,
Pepsodent Charcoal and Pepsodent Herbal.
Security analyst Professor Kwesi Anin and Imani Africa petitioned Supreme Court to restrain President Mahama from firing the IGP and any other security heads.
Also coming up tonight, Finance Minister Dr. Kesela Tuforson presents bills to enable government to repeal and abolish e-levy and other nuisance taxes to Parliament.
Government set to allocate 2% of GET Fund to complement the implementation of free senior high school as well as technical and vocational education.
Later in business, Vice President Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman tasks new Bank of Ghana board with restoring trust and stabilizing the economy.
Elsewhere in the world, President Donald Trump threatens a 200% tariff on alcohol from EU countries unless what he calls a nasty 5% tariff on American whiskey is stopped. We're live on TV3 Ghana, on Facebook, all across the world on 3news.com. Please stay with us.
Let's delve into the details now. And security analyst Professor Kwesi Anin and Imani Africa are this evening praying the Supreme Court to restrain the President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, and other presidents from firing the IGP and any other security heads until an ongoing case relating to the matter is decided by the court later in May 2025. According to the plaintiff, the said security heads will be unfairly treated if they are removed before the matter, which is pending before the Supreme Court, is heard. The development comes on the back of raging reports that the President intends to remove the Inspector General of Police and other heads of security agencies. Imani Africa and Professor Kwesi Anin have been in court since June 2024, challenging the powers of the President to revoke appointments of security heads without a proper legal basis. And what we do know is that this particular issue has been in court for some time, and the final hearing will be later this year, in May specifically. Let's try and get the thoughts of Kofi Bentil, who is Vice President of Imani Africa. He's joined us via phone for a quick chat. Mr. Bentil, good evening and thank you for your time.
Good evening and thanks for having me.
Right, we do know that the final hearing decision will be in May, but we are told that as of this evening, you have returned to the court to seek more or less an injunction if President Mahama intends to sack the current IGP. Is that the case, and why?
Well, thank you very much. I think a few things have to be clarified, and I want to make it clear that I am a party in the matter and a lawyer in the matter, so I don't intend to discuss the merits of the matter. What I want to do here is to explain what has happened, for the benefit of the
Mr. Bentil, can you kindly speak up for me? I can barely hear you, sir.
I am saying I don't intend to discuss the merits of the matter.
Right.
Because the Supreme Court is about to rule on it.
Okay.
What I'm trying to do is explain what has happened for the benefit of your listeners.
Sure.
So this matter was filed sometime last year, I think March or so last year, so it's been there for a while. And a date has been set for a judgment on the matter. Okay. Normally when a court is seized with a matter, especially when all the parties have been heard and you are about to get judgment, there is an inherent injunction so that no party, has to take any action that renders the, judgment of the court, nugatory or useless. So already it is understood generally amongst lawyers that in a situation like this, everybody must stay their hand. Now, what we all woke up to in the last few days were, rumors all over the place that the president was just about to relieve the IGP of his position. Now, we are not challenging the powers of the president. What we are saying, which we have said to the court, and which the Attorney General has come to also speak about, is that indeed the president's powers do not extend to removing any service chief without due process, without cause, and that they are protected both in the Constitution and in their service regulations. So it is not about challenging anything or running to the court for an injunction. One, the injunction actually supposed to exist already. We are just trying to get a situation where the Supreme Court confirms it, just to clear the rumors. And by the way, there are rumors. For the president hasn't done anything. We just wanted to make it very clear that whilst we are waiting for a judgment and a ruling from the Supreme Court, everybody must stay their hand. All right? So when the Supreme Court rules, we will know whether indeed the president has authority to remove any of the service chiefs or not. And that clarity will help the whole country, going forward.
Right. And Mr. Bentil, you would also agree, and I'm sure it was part of your preliminary statement, that if the president is the appointing authority, he indirectly also has the authority to revoke that appointment. Isn't that so? That has been the precedence in time past. So you are just asking the court to ensure that the grounds on which any security head is removed should be clear for everybody to know. Is that the point?
Well, many people think that in every case, an appointing authority also has the power to revoke the appointment. It is not so. The president, for instance, can appoint a judge, all right, but cannot remove the judge. So, again, without going to the merits of the matter, it is not true always, depending on the office, that an appointing authority can revoke the appointment. You can appoint, but to go through, there is a process you have to go through if you're going to remove the person. And the law is clear that ranked officers and other service chiefs may not be removed ordinarily except for cause and after due process. So I just want to correct that notion. But you should not take my word for it. That is why we have a Supreme Court. So we have laid all these things before the Supreme Court, and we are hoping that the Supreme Court will make a ruling on it. We don't, have anything to say the Supreme Court rules one way or the other. What we want is that the Supreme Court will clarify that issue, because we have been operating on this assumption for all this time. And many of us have complained that the way politicians handle security services is a bit erroneous. The security of the state is different from the security of the government. And that distinction is extremely important. That is why some officers are protected in a certain way. The police are not there just for the security of the government.
Right.
They are there for the security of the state. So what I want to tell everybody is that, look, it is just to clarify the uncertainty that has ensued in the last few days. Let us all wait for the Supreme Court. We are just hoping that the president will also be happy to wait for the Supreme Court to make a determination of this matter, and then we can move forward. And
Mr. Bentil, briefly before you take leave of us, so what happens in the case of the president actually taking action or removing the IGP or other security heads ahead of the final ruling, which is later in May? Information we are getting indicate that tomorrow the president will be appointing or announcing a new IGP. If that does happen, what happens to the case?
Well, I don't want to believe that the president will do that, because that will be contemptuous of the Supreme Court. That will be, defeating the ends of justice by trying to, overreach the courts. Okay, but if that happens, actually, we are all going to be thrown into a constitutional crisis, because you have a situation where the matter is before the Supreme Court. We don't know whether it's going to go this way or that way. I would think that they will wait, but if they do not wait, in fact, none of the parties, including the security chiefs that are involved, may also, take certain actions that will, overreach or make the rulings of the court nugatory. So we just hope that it doesn't happen that way. We can all wait. But if it happens that way, look, this is a matter of state, it's a constitutional issue, but it's not personal. And I hope that we will be charting a better course going forward instead of repeating the mistakes of the past.
Right. Pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much, Mr. Kofi Bentil, Vice President of Imani Africa. We'll keep very close eyes on this particular development and keep viewers posted. And we would also be happy to hear your thoughts on this particular issue in the comment section. But In the last few minutes, my colleagues here, Alfredo Kanse and a few others, have been interacting with Finance Minister Dr. Kesela Tuforson on the post-budget fallouts and other matters arising following the different angles that have come up as a result of the budget he presented, the 2025 budget that was presented to Parliament. So Alfredo Kanse is interacting with the Finance Minister. Let's plug into that conversation.
Needs to move away from negative equity to a positive equity to make the bank strong and for them to be able to perform the functions that a central bank will have to pay. But I have said that, yes, we've inherited that, but the Bank of Ghana must lead the way. And I'm glad to inform you that the governor has already started, and the governor believes that the taxpayer alone cannot shoulder 53 billion Ghana cedis at this time. And he has announced some bold measures to improve their profitability and to reverse the declining trend and to make sure that the central bank will, on their own, be able to improve their balance sheet as against the government of Ghana going to raise some resources of sort to support the recapitalization effort of the...
You said, right, we're live on TV3 now, and this is an exclusive interview with the Finance Minister, Dr. Kasela Atuforson, and it's been exclusively responding to the NPP's press conference earlier today, and then also we're going to get into the details of the 8 bills that he has just presented to Parliament earlier, not too long ago, about some of the taxes and levies that he announced that will be scrapped. We were just talking about financial sector cleanup, how much it costs us as a country, and then also we're hearing of some 10 billion, over 10 billion, in fact, that we would have to spend again to clean up the same sector that some 30 billion was used to clean up. That's the question that obviously will bother the minds of many, because that money is going to have to come from you and I, the Ghanaian people. Now, already the central bank governor was in Parliament not too long ago to talk about the expenditure on the new building. There has been that call for value for money audit. Is that one that you support?
Oh, yes. I'm sure the governor himself will not run away from that call. And I mean, the kind of money they've spent on the central bank is in excess of, on the central bank building, it's in excess of 300 million.
In excess of 300 million?
Yes, of course, dollars.
Dollars?
Yes, because if you put everything together in terms of the cost of building, the cost of furniture, cost of IT system, and many others that I
so maybe $11 million to
yes, more,
finish the place.
So that is going to take you about $300 million. And if $300 million, give and take, is taking you in excess of 4.5 billion cedis for one head office. And so it points to a situation that I believe that it doesn't reflect a bank that is asking the taxpayer to support. And this building was commenced around the same time that the bank was going through a very difficult time. As I said, we shall overcome it. The bank will look within. Luckily, as we speak, the bank is policy solvent, and simple put, they are able to generate enough resources to fund their monetary policy operations. And so they are working. All what they will need to do is to improve their balance sheet over a period of time. And this won't be the first time that you see a central bank with negative equity. It has happened in some countries before.
So let's get...
Right, so that's Finance Minister Dr. Kesela Atuforson in that interaction with Alfredo Kanse. Now at 10 p.m. on Ghana Tonight, we'll get an extended version of that conversation. And later tomorrow, after New Day at 10 a.m., you'll also get a fuller version of that conversation, looking more at the fallout of the budget presentation to Parliament a few days ago.
Still on the Finance Minister, Dr. Kasela Atuforson has presented the bills that will enable the government to repeal and abolish the e-levy and other levies to Parliament. On Tuesday, March 11, The finance minister presented the 2025 budget to a parliament. In his presentation, he promised to scrap the electronic levy, betting tax, emissions levy, and abolish the COVID-19 levy. On Thursday, the minister presented bills to parliament that will enable the government to scrap those levies. Those levies include, let's bring those to you, electronic transfer levy, repeal bill 2025, the Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund, which is to be amended 2025, the Revenue Administration Bill is also to be amended 2025, the Special Import Levy Bill 2025. Also, the Emissions Levy is to be repealed 2025, the Income Tax Bill Amendment 2025, the Growth and Sustainability Levy Bill 2025, and Earmarked Funds Capping and Realignment Bill 2025. Away from that, Minister for Foreign Affairs Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa says 150 Ghanaians are currently in various detention centers in the United States awaiting deportation to Ghana. He added that measures have been put in place to ensure their safe arrival and reintegration into society.
Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa was in Parliament to brief the House on the measures taken regarding the deportation of Ghanaians from the United States of America.
Officially, what U.S. authorities have communicated to us is 150. A key step in this process was the stakeholder meeting held on the 17th of February 2025. The meeting aimed to develop comprehensive preparatory measures in anticipation of potential deportations, evaluate vulnerabilities within the Ghanaian community, and establish necessary support mechanisms. One of the key outcomes of the meeting was the identification of resources needed to provide assistance to deported nationals, including transportation to their final destinations and any available reintegration programs. Additionally, the stakeholders discussed the importance of coordinating efforts between the ministry, local organizations, our international partners, to ensure that Ghanaian nationals who are deported are adequately supported upon their return to Ghana.
He clarified that the U.S. government will bear the cost of the air tickets for the deportees. The minister mentioned that he had met with the U.S. ambassador to Ghana and other stakeholders, adding that government would be resilient and provide resources to support the deportees.
Cannot expect much from the IOM because they themselves have become victims of the executive orders by President Trump. The consular fund will have to be supported, and we are hoping that when it comes to the approval of the estimates, honorable colleagues will help us in that regard. In line with the ministry's established practices and in collaboration with the relevant authorities, arrangements will be made to ensure the reception of our compatriots upon their arrival in Ghana. This will include health screening, psychological support, assistance with specific needs, and transportation to their final destination.
Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa also stated that 4 young children have been affected and assured MPs of their protection. He urged the citizenry not to stigmatize them upon arrival, emphasizing that they are not criminals but hard-working Ghanaians who were unable to regularize their stay in the U.S. The foreign minister further mentioned that as a result of the incident, some Ghanaians have found it difficult to attend public events and church services in the U.S.
Well, some good news coming in for, Ghanaians who are applying for passports, because the same foreign affairs minister in Parliament earlier today says that from April this year, Ghana's passports will be modernized into a chip-embedded passport. He says it is an international requirement and government is committed to achieving that. The minister was answering questions on the floor of Parliament earlier today.
He says the process of using a chip-embedded passports began in 2010 and will be operational in April this year.
The introduction of the chip-embedded passport aligns with the International Civil Aviation Organization, ICAO, standards, specifically ICAO Document 9303, which provides guidelines for implementing machine-readable travel documents and e-passports. This modernization effort is designed to enhance border security, reduce identity fraud, and streamline international travel.
Our passport service to take advantage in a more convenient manner. The minister also stated that a reduction in passport fees from 500 cedis to 350 cedis would not result in any loss to the country. Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa also responded to questions regarding the relationship between Ghana and the current military leader in Burkina Faso.
Here we are faced with violent extremism, with terrorism. We need to share intelligence. We need to have bilateral engagements that will protect our territorial integrity. We need to make sure that the peace and stability of our country is protected. This is a period that requires diplomacy, that requires tact, that requires sober reflection. It requires a lot of wisdom and cautious rapprochement. That is what President Mahama is pursuing.
Still watching News 360 on TV3, and we have some breaking news for you. And the breaking news coming to us from the office of the president indicate that President John Dramani Mahama has appointed COP Christian Tete Yehonu as the new Inspector General of Police. He takes over from Dr. George Ekufu-Dampare, who has been the IGP. And a few minutes ago, you heard us interview a group of people who had gone to court to ask the court to hold the hand of the president from making this particular decision of sacking the IGP and or other heads of security institutions. Well, a few minutes ago, a communication from the office of the president signed by Felix Kwachio-Fosu, spokesperson to the president, says that President John Mahama has, in accordance with Article 91 and 202 of the 1992 Constitution and in consultation with the Council of State, appointed the Commissioner of Police, COP Christian Tete Yehonu, as the Inspector General of Police. He replaces COP Dr. George Ekufu-Dampare. Now, COP Yehonu brings 40 years of experience to the position of IGP and is expected to oversee the modernization and transformation of the Ghana Police Service. So that's the breaking news coming in, which is that COP Christian Tete Yehonu is Ghana's new IGP, effective immediately, and the President of the Republic took that decision in consultation with the Council of State, and he is going to be replacing Dr. George Ekufu-Dampare, who has served as IGP under the previous administration and the first few months of this current administration. If you go to our website, 3news.com, you'll get a profile of the new IGP who has 40 years of experience as a serving police officer.
And our government is set to allocate 2% of the GET fund to complement the implementation of free senior high school as well as technical and vocational education. Vice President Professor Jinana Opoku-Agyeman, speaking at the closing ceremony of the National Education Forum, is confident that this will help transform education in the country.
After a 3-week engagement with key stakeholders and experts, the Education Forum recommended that the government increase investment in basic schools to better equip students. The committee also recommended that significant investment be directed towards improving education in both rural and urban areas. On free SHS, the National Education Committee underscored the relevance of the program, but called for more investment into it. Chairman of the Education Committee, Professor George Odro, underscored the relevance of teachers in achieving positive learning outcomes.
There is low participation of secondary school students in TVET. The government must work closely with industry to improve the image of TVET, while integrating innovative training models, including digital learning systems, to make TVET attractive to the youth.
The Minister for Education, Harun Edrisu, commended the work done by the Education Committee. He stated that the government will allocate 2% of the budget to support TVET.
This year, of our Get Fund formula, will be the first ever allocation of at least some amount, 1-2% of Get Fund, to support technical and vocational education as a start. And we also intend to roll out what President Mahama will describe as the local scholarship initiative. Every public university will be given a certain support to train 5 PhD students beginning this year locally.
The Minister of Education also spoke about the implementation of National Research Fund this year.
That Excellency John Dramani Mahama will this year effectively operationalize the National Research Fund. It would be functional and it will work. I've requested the Ghana Education Trust Fund to make seed money available in the formula of the fund for the 2025 year.
Vice President Professor Jane Nano Pukwajimain emphasized the substantial funding that has been made available in the budget to support education.
We talked about making TVET attractive. I want to throw in this, that is all of us. Let us look at our language again. People don't do TVET because they are not able to do other things. They go to the exciting areas of TVET because that's where their interest is, that's where their strength is, and that's what the country also needs.
And now the Ghana Journalists Association has served notice to petition the Chief Justice over an interim injunction that forced a shutdown of a radio station in the Eastern region. The plaintiffs in the affidavit claimed that the operations of the radio station and 2 others caused excessive noise, but the GJA has expressed reservations. Meanwhile, the association is calling for the arrest of illegal miners who attacked 3 journalists in the Western region.
Earlier in March, a district court in Kede Eastern Region granted an ex-parte injunction temporarily shutting down a radio station and 2 information centers in Asium. The directive mandated that their operations remain suspended until the Environmental Protection Agency evaluates their noise levels and grants approval for them to resume broadcasting. But the GJA is not happy.
The Ghana Journalists Association, representing the Inky fraternity in Ghana, respect the decision of the district court, but we strongly disagree with the court in granting such a gagging order. It is our contention that the Cadet District Court erred in law in granting the order for interim injunction ex parte. Indeed, we believe the court did not carefully consider the grounds for the interim injunction before granting same. We respectfully call on the Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana to take particular interest in this case. We intend to petition the Chief Justice accordingly, and we believe that our Mother Chief Justice will take keen interest in this matter.
The association also called on the police command in Asankregwa in the Western region to immediately arrest some illegal miners who assaulted 3 journalists and vandalized their equipment.
The police and the court must ensure that the suspect in this disorderly act face the full force of the law and that the victims are adequately compensated. The case must be transferred from Asekegra to Second D, the regional capital, in order to enable the victims to participate in the court proceedings. The GJA has observed that the posture of the police in handling attacks on our members, and here we are referring to the media, is not encouraging and does not give hope.
The absence of street light on principal highways in the capital and elsewhere in the country is also a major worry for the Ghana Journalists Association.
Movement on our roads at night has become a threat to life. Apart from leading to accidents on our roads, including knockdown of pedestrians, the absence of street light also fuels criminal activities, especially in quiet areas. We respectfully call on the Department of Urban Roads and Ghana Highway Authority, as well as other relevant authorities, to fix the street light in order to save lives and bring back night life in our major cities.
In a rather new twist, the Ghana Journalists Association has decided to host an evening program to honor distinguished personalities and institutions to mark this year's Press Freedom Day. Christian Yale, TV3 News, Accra.
You're still watching News 360 on TV3, and a few seconds ago we had some breaking news coming in, and the breaking news is that President of the Republic and the Commander-in-Chief of Ghana Armed Forces, President John Dramani Mahama, has appointed COP Christian Tete Yehonu as Ghana's new IGP, Ghana's new Inspector General of Police. He takes over from Dr. George Ekufu Dampare. Now, COP Christian Tete Yehonu brings to the service over 40 years of experience, having served as a police officer, and tomorrow our sources tell us that he will be formally sworn in by the president. So it was on the back of consultation with the Council of State that the president arrived at this decision to name COP Christian Tete Yehonu as Ghana's latest IGP.
Stay with us here on News 360. We have some business news coming up next.
Good evening and welcome to the business segment on News 360 with me, Menu Aful. Now, Vice President Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman has charged the newly inaugurated Board of the Bank of Ghana to take decisive steps in restoring public trust and stabilizing the economy. She emphasized that the success of the government's economic reset depends on the central bank's leadership.
The new board assumes office at a critical time, with the Bank of Ghana facing significant financial challenges. The central bank recorded a negative equity position of 55.1 billion cedis in 2022, largely due to losses from the Domestic Debt Exchange Program, DDEP. Inflation remains high at 23.1% as of February 2025, and the cedi has depreciated by over 15% against the US dollar in the past year. Board Chairman and Governor Dr. Johnson Esiama acknowledged these challenges and assured Ghanaians of bold reforms.
Our mission is clear, Your Excellency. We must restore confidence in the Bank of Ghana, we must uphold price stability, and we must strengthen our financial position and reinforce good governance. The decisions taken here will not only shape the future of the bank, but also impact businesses, households, and the overall economy.
Vice President Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman stressed that the board must align its policies with global best practices to rebuild the economy and maintain financial stability.
The President's social contract to the people of Ghana to reset, rebuild, and restore public trust and macroeconomic stability through responsive financial sector governance and sound economic policies rests on your shoulders.
The newly constituted board comprises 12 members with over 40% female representation, a move the Vice President lauded as a step toward inclusivity in financial governance.
In more news tonight, the World Bank has announced that Ghana could access $15 million in funding if the State Interest and Governance Authority, SIGA, meets set targets to improve the performance of debt-laden state-owned enterprises. Speaking during a meeting between the President and SIGA-affiliated entities, World Bank Country Director for Ghana, Liberia, and Sierra Leone, Robert Talierko O'Brien, reaffirmed confidence in Ghana's economy recovery efforts, emphasizing the need for effective SOE management.
Under the USD $150 million Public Financial Management for Service Delivery Program, the World Bank will provide $15 million to the government if SIGA achieves agreed targets towards improving the performance of SOEs. The successful preparation and publication of the 2023 State Ownership Report is the first important milestone under the program, and I'm confident that there will be more to follow, including the finalization of the proposed performance evaluation of the 16 SOEs that SIGA has identified. The World Bank is also supporting reforms through the $300 million budget support instrument, with policy actions, including those targeting reforms of ECG.
And our government of Ghana is set to raise an additional 8.26 billion cedis in short-term debt at the next Treasury bill auction scheduled for Friday, March 14. The proceeds are mainly to settle maturing debts. There's more in the following 3 Business News Desk report.
According to the Treasury bill auction notice, government will issue short-term debt securities with maturities ranging from 91 to 182 days as it seeks to raise 8.26 billion cedis in short-term debt. The move aims to finance government's budget deficit and refinance maturing debt. T-bill auction is a regular occurrence through the Bank of Ghana, allowing government to raise funds from domestic investors, including banks, pension funds, and individual investors. Despite the robust demand, interest rates on the short-term instruments declined. The 91-day T-bill yield has dropped to 17.71% from 20.79%. Interest on the 182-day T-bill saw yield dropped to 18.96%, down from 22.98%. The 364-day T-bill also recorded a decline in rate, settling at 19.98% from 22.69% in the previous auction. Government's decision to raise additional funds through the T-bill auction is part of its effort to manage the country's debt portfolio and finance its development projects.
And now 14 lucky customers of Petrosol have won big in Petrosol's nationwide Energizing Dreams promo held in Wa. The draw is meant to reward loyal customers who have supported the brand over the past years.
The event held at the Bamahu Petrosol fuel station in Wa saw 14 lucky customers win exciting prizes including tricycles, motorcycles, fridges, TVs, and fuel vouchers, among others. The lubricant marketing and communications manager, Mark Edubuatin, provides more insight into the promo and what makes it unique.
And we thought that just saying thank you with words was not worth it. It was worth that we do far more than just saying thank you in words. And so we decided to get some items together. And we saw that items like tricycle, motorcycle, fridges, even a car will be things that people would quite be happy to get, because many people need these things to do some businesses on the side or even to commute from one place to the other to work. And so that is why we decided to do this, to say thank you to our customers.
28-year-old fire officer Yusuf Ubeida Jimba from Wa won a tricycle.
I feel excited I won this award. It's to help me because I always buy the fuel in drums. I can use it to export it to wherever. I've been buying from Dondoli Petrosol. To make a lot of difference, because first I used to hire, now I have one. I'll not be running for someone to come and do it for me.
A level 200 student of the SDD UBIDS Postinos Tenga also won a Loba motorbike.
I'm so amazed to win this motorbike for myself. More especially, I'm a student of UBs. This will help me with my transportation to campus. I won't be spending money on tricycle and other stuff to go to campus. And this will be the fastest way for me to travel to campus for lectures.
What message do you have for people?
I'll urge everybody out there to also keep on buying their products, that is fuel, so that they can also win what belongs to them, or that what will be their luck to them.
And that's how we bring the business news or News 360 to an end. My name is Minwafo. We'll be back with sports. Please stay with us.
Hello, my friends. My name is Calcate Toothpaste. I was made to be gentle on your gum, but protected. I will protect your teeth from cavity, make your teeth whiter, stronger, keep your mouth fresh all day. And best of all, I'm strawberry flavored. So put on a smile and try me.
That's amazing.
Just try me. That's my job.
If you say so, jump on.
I'm glad you like your new toothpaste. Don't forget to brush both day and night.
Calcates. Happy smile.
Hello, good evening and welcome to the sports segment here on News 360 with me, Oriku Ampofo. We begin with a special story as my colleague Akusieje returns to the first ever residential football academy in Africa to tell the story of how Right to Dream Academy is producing talented female footballers and opening up opportunities in other fields.
Nestled along the bank of the Volta River in Old Accra in the Eastern region, the Right to Dream Academy is globally recognized for churning out talented footballers, including Mohamed Kudus, Simon Adingra, Enes Nyama, and Abdul Momen. With a growing concern for inclusivity, Right to Dream in 2013 birthed the first ever girls' residential academy in Africa, beginning the project with just 9 girls. Girls including Bay FC's Princess Mafo, Brown University's Joy Okonye, and 23 others have graduated from the academy, building careers that matter to them. Head of People for Right to Dream Group, Enyonam Deitutu, highlights the best part of having girls in the academy.
The best part of having girls in this academy is to empower women and create parity.
The athletes in the academy are in tune with the realities of life. The sad reality of women having to work twice as much to match up with their male counterparts. As a result, hard work and dedication remains a key part of the ethos in the academy.
I think for the girls, because they think that the world out there in terms of football is probably not as fair compared to what the men take and what the women take, they seem more focused in class because they are looking for more options other than just football.
The Right to Dream Academy opens up different opportunities, especially for girls. The Character and Purpose Department ensures that the athletes have their football career and academics on track.
Football here is a tool that you use to actually access the dream or access the dreams that you want to achieve. So if you come here and you want to pursue just football, would definitely tell you that you need to have a second, something that would be more long-term.
While Na Ayele Mensah Commodore coaches the girls team, she doubles as the voice of instruction in the robotics lab. On the field, the girls are equipped to understand the modern trends of the game.
It can be challenging. Sometimes you'll be tired from school, then you have to come here. But sometimes I take inspiration from the girls that I coach because they do the same thing. They go to school and afterwards they come here and then they play. So I try to learn from them, see how they're able to go through the day and then also take something from them.
Even at a younger age, the athletes are clear in their minds about their future plans.
My dream is to be a well-educated businesswoman with a degree and after play professional football.
My dream is to become like a well-educated student and after school. And one of my dreams is also to take part in the Stanford University. And also I want to become a professional footballer.
Striving to be the best is a hallmark of the academy, as CEO Asiedu gives a background into the inclusion of girls.
I think that it's obvious that women are super important in our society. Although we are in a male-dominated world, they provide more social cohesion. They are more or less the engines of all that we do in our societies.
The success story of the academy are countless, but Princess Mafus stands out. She is the first female graduate to be called to the Black Wings and also plies her trade at Bay FC in the NWSL.
Princess was the first to have properly gone through the whole system at the academy. Went on to FCN, played a bit, and then later went to other clubs. And so hearing her name as being part of the Queens, I mean, it was such a great joy for us here.
So here at the Right to Dream Academy, Princess Mafo is viewed as one of the brightest stars to have come out of this particular institution. But also,
There are a number of other girls who, because of what is being done here at Right to Dream, have been able to weather the storm in whatever field they want to achieve in life, whether it's in education or on the field. For 3 Sports, I am Akosia Ej from the Right to Dream Academy.
Well, a very beautiful story there. But before we go, just a reminder that Athletic Bilbao, Frankfurt, and then Lazio and Bodo Glimt have all reached the quarterfinal stage of the Europa League. There's still 4 more games to go tonight, including Real Sociedad versus Manchester United. You can get updates of that on our social media handles at 3 Sports GH. My name is Oreku Ampofo.
Dancehall giant Stonebwoy has been on the move all winter with his ongoing up and running tour. Over the weekend, Stonebwoy sold out London's O2 Shepherd's Bush Empire and is gearing up for another massive event in Hamburg, Germany this coming weekend.
Stonebwoy has captured the hearts of many music lovers worldwide with his exceptional artistry and high-energy performances. The up-and-running world tour, which kicked off on February 20, has already wowed audiences in several cities. This past weekend, Stonebwoy made a memorable stop in London at the iconic O2 Shepherd's Bush Empire. The arena was transformed into a vibrant cultural hub as fans from all walks of life gathered to witness the unforgettable performance by one of Africa's leading music artists.
Sometimes you have to pat yourself on the back, you know, with all the things going on, you get me?
Him to the whole year, I say, what I say. Him nation to the what? Not respect and manners.
I'm so grateful, filled with gratitude to the Most High God. Anybody who knows my story knows that it's not just some yesterday guy. And believe me, the movie is gonna come and the story is gonna be told. The books are gonna be written.
The final leg of the winter tour will take place on Saturday, March 15 in Hamburg, Germany.
Whatever to leave our purpose. No boy, no man, no evil, no soul can stop the shine. Sure! Rastafari, I believe in never show up faithful, you know?
The multi-award winning artist is also expected to announce his upcoming summer tour soon.
Still watching News 360, time now for international news.
U.S. President Donald Trump has threatened a 200% tariff on alcohol from EU countries unless a 50% tariff on whiskey is stopped. It is the latest escalation of a global trade war, which this week has ramped up with 25% tariffs on all steel and aluminium entering the U.S. The EU responded to the steel and aluminium tariffs by saying it would raise its levies on up to 26 billion euros worth of U.S. goods, including boats and motorbikes from 1st April. Tariffs are a central part of Trump's overall economic vision. President Trump hopes they will boost U.S. manufacturing and protect jobs, but critics say in the immediate term, they will raise prices for U.S. consumers. Tariffs are taxes charged on goods imported from other countries. The companies that bring goods into the country pay the tax to the government. Democratic Republic of Congo is considering sending representatives to peace talks that Angola plans to host next week. This would mark Democratic Republic of Congo's first direct negotiations with a Rwanda-backed M23 rebel group. The news came as the Southern African Development Community said a summit of regional heads of state had terminated the mandate of its troop deployment in Congo and decided on a phased withdrawal.
And on that note, we draw the curtains on tonight's edition of News 360. Join us tomorrow for more as well. I am Ayisha Yakubu.
And I am Martin Asiedu Dartey. And like we indicated at 10 p.m., Alfredo Council will be coming your way with that interview with Finance Minister Dr. Kesel Atuforson. Details of all the stories we brought to you and more on our website, 3news.com. Have a good evening.